Hello everyone, welcome to today's online training session. I'm just testing out my audio before we begin. It looks like it's working for me, but if everyone could just pop in the chat box, just letting me know yes if you can hear me, that would be great, and then we can get started. Otherwise, this session is being recorded as well, so if you're having issues with your own audio and you can't hear it, this will be available online nevertheless as a recording. So if I could just get some help from people, if you can just put in the chat box that yes, you can hear me, that would be fantastic. Perfect. Thank you so much for your help. Thanks, Angela. Okay, perfect. We'll make a start on this week's topic for training. Really exciting things that we are going to be covering today. For the really exciting topic, I should just say, for this week is the Swiss travel system and all of its exciting products, as well as the different routes and different train journeys that you can book for your customers as well. So to get started, we're just going to be talking about Swiss travel in general. So as you can see on my screen over here as well, is that traveling through Switzerland is more than just traveling. So basically the thing to note about traveling in Switzerland in general is that it has one of the most comprehensive public transport networks with, world famous panorama trains, which we will cover throughout this session, as well as buses, railways and boats. And it's also one of the country's most popular tourist attractions. So whether or not your customers are looking for scenery, excitement and different kinds of travel, Switzerland is definitely the country that you can pick for them to enjoy as well. So some of the most amazing tourist attractions and some dramatic scenery can be enjoyed when traveling through Switzerland, so that it's more than just a traveling experience, but all over an experience on holidaying itself as well. So I'll get started on the different products that you can recommend for your customers, which in this case comes down to different ticketing as well. So when it comes to ticketing, all of the different modes of transport that you can travel through in Switzerland can be used with one of Switzerland's most known products, which in this case would be the Swiss travel passes. So I'll just skip over a couple of things as well. So Switzerland is one of the most well-connected countries to travel through by rail, bus or boat or any other mode of transport. And the beauty of this, of traveling throughout Switzerland is that it's all accessible with some of the travel products that we can provide to our countries. To our customers, I'm sorry. So the whole country is included right away, not just in terms of train stations, but also airports, Zurich and Geneva, with the Swiss travel pass. So you can offer travel for your customers to those areas to offer easy access as well. So as I was saying, with Switzerland offering the most comprehensive network, it is networked to perfection. Because Switzerland, of course, is quite a small country as well, is that your customers can enjoy, some short distances as well as really highly efficient rail services as well. There are also direct connections to all Swiss airports. So if you have guests coming in and out of Switzerland, obviously by flight, it's so easy for them to travel to their preferred destination with, various railway stations accessible at Swiss airports directly. Traveling throughout Switzerland as well also offers, travel pretty much like clockwork. All of their journeys are operated regularly at an interval timetable. So, for example, when traveling from Zurich through to Lucerne, your customers can expect, or you guys can also expect when you're booking this for your passengers, journeys that are operating even twice upon the hour and at very, very frequent times as well. Intercity trains, like I said, operate on the hour and or half hour as well. And the perfect thing about traveling throughout Switzerland as well is that no seat reservations are necessary for most of the services. And this applies really to intercity trains. When we start looking at the scenic and panoramic journeys, a different rule does apply, but I will cover that later on in the training session as well. I'll just skip over logistical information in general, but what I will cover is the documentation or the tickets that we can issue for our customers too. So the Swiss Travel Pass is, is one of the most comprehensive products that we can offer through Euronet as well. So it's offered for all of Switzerland, which offers free and unlimited travel on trains, buses and boats as well, and even includes free local public transportation in 75 different cities and towns. So its coverage is really, really widespread throughout Switzerland. If you have any passengers who are children under the age of 16, they do travel for free with their parents. And the great thing about this as well is that with the Swiss Travel Passes, there's an unlimited amount of children that can travel with their parents, of course. However, just make sure that your customers are aware that children under the age of, the rule is that the children do have to be under the age of 16 as well. To enhance their experience when traveling to, the Swiss Travel Passes do offer a 50% discount on most mountaintop excursions, so that it's not just train travel or bus travel that the customers can enjoy, but also additional excursions as part of the journey too. In addition, there is free entrance to over 470 museums and even up to 50% off on selected city tours and up to even 20% off on selected hotel stays. So, the Swiss Travel Pass is probably one of the best products to offer for your customers in general, primarily because of the additional bonuses and the coverage that it has. So, more specifically, Swiss Travel System passes and tickets. So we offer two different kinds of Swiss Travel Passes based on their rates of usage. So the Swiss Travel Pass offers consecutive travel for 3, 4, 8, or 15 days, meaning that once the pass is, once the pass does start being used, the customers would then have, say, for example, 4 days in which they could complete the usage of the pass as well. So it's valid for a consecutive amount of days, one day after the other. But if you have passengers who are planning to who are looking for a little bit more flexibility, their best option is to purchase the Swiss Travel Pass Flexi. So this is available in any 3, 4, 8, or 15 days within a 1-month validity period. So, of course, as per usual, with these Flexi Passes, those days don't have to be validated or used up in a consecutive basis. They can be used on a flexible basis as long as all of the days of travel are completed within the 1-month validity period. Okay? Perfect. So, another product that we can offer if you have passengers who aren't necessarily planning to do a lot of travel throughout Switzerland, a great ticket that you can offer for them is the Swiss Travel Transfer Ticket. So it's perfect for customers who are really just looking for an in and out, journey within Switzerland and who are really traveling to a single destination and just need the transfer to get from, point A to B and back again. So the way that the Swiss transfer tickets work is that it offers free airport to destination and then in the opposite direction from destination to airport or even border town within Switzerland too. So the perfect option for your customers if they're just looking for an inbound and an outbound journey out of Switzerland as well. Or if your customers are actually, I think that the most flexible ticket that you can offer for your customers as well would be the Swiss Half Fare Card. It's a perfect option for customers who don't have a set itinerary in mind and aren't even, sure about perhaps maybe their specific itineraries and the types of, excursions or rail journeys that they wish to take up. The Swiss Half Fare Card works the same as the transfer ticket as well. However, it also offers a 50% discount on all other trips, and this includes boats, buses, and train journeys as well. So they can enjoy a 50% discount on that. Do bear in mind, though, that the 50% discount does not apply to seat reservations. So if you are traveling, for example, on the Glacier Express and you do have a Swiss Half Fare Card, your customers would get 50% off on their ticket. However, the seat reservation with the Glacier Express would still be at a regular full price. And then finally, there is another product called the Swiss Youth Pass, which is 25% off for travelers under 26. So those are the types of tickets and products that we can issue out of Euronet as well. But now I'll just go on to the various panoramic routes and the scenic trains that Swiss Travel System does offer as well. So with the Bernina Express, this particular journey combines both train travel as well as bus travel. So the great thing about this journey is that it connects Switzerland as well through to Italy, so that customers can enjoy a really varied type of scenery between Switzerland's beautiful alpine region as well as the Riviera tropical scenery of Italy as well. So let me just go through the different options as well. So basically the Bernina Express, the duration of the journey is approximately 4.5 hours, at least for the train component. So this is without the Bernina Express bus. So the Bernina Express bus operates from Tirano through to Lugano or back to Tirano as well. So there are two different classes of service available on the train component, offering first and second classes. Now, seat reservations are compulsory on both the bus component as well as the train component. What I will do though is I'll just quickly jump back into the map so that we can see the, let me just go in, the different routes. So just zooming in here, everything that you can see here on the solid line, the journey would start from Cora, for example, and then travel all the way through to Tirano, and this would be operated by train service, okay? But then once the guests actually get to Tirano, from Tirano through to Lugano, this would be operated by a bus service. Please do bear in mind though that there is only one bus service that operates daily, so it is pretty important for you to ensure that you're booking the train component to align with the departures of the bus. So if ever you needed to find out the specific schedules for the trains and the bus services, I would invite you to check this directly on the Bernina Express product page, directly on Extranet as well, so that you can find out more information. Otherwise, all of this is also available by searching through the schedules within Euronet as well. So just some various imagery, on the Bernina Express services. What you can see here as well is just some carriages on the Bernina Express. So like I said, the carriages are available in first class and second class, but the beauty of this service is that panoramic windows are available in both first and second class as well. So regardless of the types of, mode of travel that your passengers are traveling in on the Bernina Express, they can enjoy the best of the scenery with these fantastic windows, which will offer them the, a full viewing of the scenery around them as well. Okay. And then just some additional imagery of the vehicle itself. And then furthermore, the bus service that is available from Tirano through to Lugano or in the vice versa direction as well. So just continuing on with the scenic trains that we can book for your customers would be the more popularly known Glacier Express service. So the complete route of the Glacier Express operates from Zermatt through to St. Moritz, or St. Moritz through to Zermatt in the opposite direction as well. It is known, it is known as being the slowest express train in the world, as the duration of the entire route from St. Moritz through to Zermatt, or in the opposite direction, is approximately 7 hours in length as well. So it's a fully panoramic route throughout the Swiss Alps, and it's an unforgettable journey linking the east and west of Switzerland from one point to another as well. There's no shortage of the kind of scenery that your customers would enjoy on board this service, as it passes through 91 tunnels, crosses 291 bridges, and also passes the 2,033-metre iconic Oberalp pass of the day as well. So something special that the Glacier Express does offer as well are additional meals available on board the train. Please do bear in mind, however, that the meals are still at an additional cost, whether or not you have guests traveling in first class or second class. So they do have a choice between the dish of the day or a 3-course menu, and all of this would be served at the customer's seat as well. So payment on board the train is accepted on, as credit card or on cash. However, the currency accepted on board the Glacier Express, of course, is in Swiss francs. So just bear that in mind for your customers when they are traveling too. So another thing that I should just mention, and I will just enter this information in the chat box just so that everyone has access to this. Let me just, oh, actually, no, I'm just going to skip over that information just because it is slightly outdated. So I'm just going to move that out of there. But yeah, just speaking of, meals and types of hospitality available on board, lunch is served directly to the guest seat on the Glacier Express. It is freshly prepared on the onboard kitchen in the center of the train as well. So lunch service, the at-seat service available at lunch is really only for first-class passengers. However, if you do have passengers traveling in second class, they can purchase their meals on board, at a communal cafe bar car as well. So everyone can enjoy the meals and amenities on board the Glacier Express service. So just an image of what the Glacier Express appears as. So like I said, another journey that also has panoramic windows and coaches available for optimal viewing throughout the scenery that the guests are going to be traveling in as well. And then this is just an example of what let me just step back into that slide. So this is just an example of what the first class seats would appear as for your customers once you do book them on board the train. So seating configuration is on a 4x4 seating configuration with a table in between so that the meals can be served directly at seat, for lunch and everything like that. And the types of meals that guests can also enjoy on board would be local cuisines, served throughout Switzerland as well, so that they really get the authentic experience when enjoying this, while at the same time still enjoying the scenery around them as well. So again, just to recap on the Glacier Express, the complete duration is about 7.5 hours on the full journey from Zermatt through to St. Moritz too. So it's a panoramic route throughout the Swiss Alps as well, and an unforgettable journey linking east and west of Switzerland as well. Perhaps I might just adjust these notes over here just because these are slightly out of date, of course, but however, something to note about the Glacier Express is that it does have seasonal schedules that do operate as well. So what I might do, just to provide the most accurate information, I'm just going to bring up the seasonal schedules through Extranet, just so that, let me just bring this up, just so that we all have access to the same information and the most current information as well. So for more info about the scenic trains on Extranet, there is a dedicated scenic trains link available, which has complete information about the schedules and even inclusions available on board. So we already looked at the Bernina Express, but I'll just quickly show the seasonal schedules available for the Glacier Express. Excuse me. So looking at the timetable, the 2018 timetable is available through Extranet as well. So the winter timetable operates from the 10th of December 2017 up until the 9th of May 2018. So bear in mind that during the winter season, there are limited services available in both directions. So there's only one train departing each day. Whereas the summer timetable, passengers would have a wider range of different trains to take up that would cover the full route. So for example, if you have passengers planning to travel from Zermatt all the way through to St. Moritz, they can choose between 2 different train services that will cover the whole route. Other trains that operate throughout the day will offer a limited service. However, they can still be booked nevertheless during the summer period. And just to recap, the summer timetable for the Glacier Express operates from the 10th of May to the 14th of October 2018. Something that I should just mention is that this train does sell out quite quickly, so it is quite, I would highly recommend for your customers to pre-book the reservations to avoid any disappointment, during travel as well, or prior to that. So continuing on with the session as well, with the other panoramic journeys that we offer, is the Golden Pass line. So something to note about the Golden Pass line is that it doesn't comprise of one train journey, but rather 3 to 4 different train journeys if you are completing the entire route. So let me just zoom in a tiny little bit more on the route map over here. So the complete route operates from Lucerne through to Interlaken, Interlaken to Spitz, Spitz to Zweisimmen, and then Zweisimmen through to Montreux. So all of those 4 sectors so this would be one train from Lucerne through to Interlaken, a second train from Interlaken to Spitz, Spitz to Zweisimmen would be your 3rd train, and then Zweisimmen to Montreux would be the 4th train. So with the 4 different trains available on the complete Golden Pass route, some seat reservations will be available to be booked, and some parts of the journey do have a compulsory reservation, but I will cover this a little bit more as I discuss the train. But the great part about the Golden Pass line is that it links central Switzerland and the Lake Geneva region together to offer the most varied scenery, you know, from alpine regions to those beautiful turquoise lakes as well. So on board the Golden Pass line, your customers can enjoy, you know, travel in both 1st and 2nd class as well. And on each of the services, they do also offer a dining car and minibar so that your customers can enjoy, you know, a full hospitality experience on board the train. Of course, these, you know, purchasing meals is still at an additional cost to the ticket that they would be organising as well. So just some imagery of the Golden Pass line, and this is where the train sort of is now travelling toward Montreux, one of the more scenic parts of the journey in its completion. So I may actually just rectify this information here, but this is actually Spitz. Okay. So the Golden Pass line, as I said, comprises of several different trains from Lucerne through to Interlaken, Interlaken through to Spitz, and then Spitz to Montreux as well. The duration of the entire journey from Lucerne through to Montreux takes approximately 5 hours in total. But these various panoramic trains all operate under one brand called the Golden Pass Panoramic. So the Panorama coaches are available in 1st and 2nd class. However, there are VIP seats available in 1st class only between Zweisimmen and Montreux. The thing is that with these VIP seats, we actually don't have access to booking these in Euronet at all. So I'm just going to, let me just see. For those who are just joining, I may actually just place you on mute just for a moment. But if you have any questions in the interim, please do enter those in the chat box as well. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, perfect. So just a couple of details on the different components of the lines as well. When travelling from Lucerne through to Interlaken, guests can enjoy panoramic 1st class coaches. So it would just be standard windows within the 2nd class carriages, but the guests can enjoy, you know, large panoramic windows on board 1st class carriages as well. So it also offers a dining car, 1st and 2nd class coaches, and even a disabled access area with a lift and room for about 7 bikes as well. So this is just a sample image of what the Lucerne to Interlaken component looks like on board the train journey, you know, with the panoramic windows offering the biggest viewing of the scenery that the guests are travelling in through as well. And then continuing on with Interlaken to Zweisimmen, this would just be your regular standard Swiss intercity train, offering 1st class and 2nd class seating available on the train. The thing is that with the Interlaken to Zweisimmen component of the journey, it is a shorter journey, so it isn't actually possible to book seat reservations on board this train at all. The thing is though is that if you do have passengers who are travelling with a Swiss travel pass, it does mean that they do get to travel on board the train for free and sit in any available seat as long as they show their rail pass, and it is valid for travel as well. So it's just operated on, you know, regular intercity trains as well. And then finally, the last section of the line from Zweisimmen to Montreux, it does also offer panoramic 1st class and 2nd class coaches with panoramic VIP seats, but also bear in mind, like I said, this is not available through, I'm just going to note here, NA on E2. We don't actually have access to booking this at all. Just excuse my writing on the screen there. But it does also have disabled access with a lift or a low floor as well. And then just some images of the Zweisimmen to Montreux train journey component. So like I said before, the VIP seats are, oops, one second. The VIP seats are located at the front of the train on an upper level just up here, whereas if you are traveling in first class, you can still enjoy a lot more space throughout the carriage with panoramic windows available on board. So just a sample image of the VIP seating area, and then more imagery of the train journey itself. So before I go through the reservation rules, I might just quickly go and show it's a little bit easier if I were to show the schedules as per what is available on Extranet, as it does host the most valid and accurate information as well. So just going back to the scenic trains. So we're looking at the Golden Pass line. Okay. Timetable. So on Extranet, you can download the timetable for the Golden Pass line service. Okay, I might actually just download this because it's not quite showing in a format that I like, just so that we can view it a lot better. Or actually, I can just go like that. I didn't think about that. Okay, so just looking at the routes. So say, for example, we are traveling in the direction from Montreux to Zweisimmen, Zweisimmen to Interlaken, and then Interlaken through to Lucerne. So you can see on the timetable, it does have color-coded times to represent the different types of trains available. So from Montreux to Zweisimmen, the seat reservations on this service from Montreux to Zweisimmen are compulsory. So it is important to make sure that your customers are booking this as well. So Zweisimmen to Spitz and then Spitz to Interlaken, which actually comprises of 2 different trains, is a regional service where seat reservations are not required and not actually bookable. So if your passengers do have a Swiss travel pass, they can sit on the service and sit in any available seat as well. Whereas from the Interlaken to Lucerne component of the journey, which is called the Lucerne-Interlaken, Lucerne to Interlaken Express, this service doesn't have compulsory seat reservations. However, it is recommended if your customers do want to be traveling during the peak season. So if they have a Swiss travel pass, they can travel on the service and sit in any available seat, even if they don't have a seat reservation. However, it is in their best interest to make sure that they do book that in advance, just to avoid any disappointment by missing out on any seats on board the train. So just to recap, compulsory reservation between Montreux and Zweisimmen, not available, and optional reservation from Interlaken through to Lucerne. So just looking at, and the same of course applies in the opposite direction, just looking at the color coding there. So the reservation rules as well is that individual travels can be booked in Euronet of up to 9 people at once in both first and second class as well. So reservations aren't compulsory for the Lucerne to Interlaken journey component, but it is strongly recommended, just like I said as well. So normal seat reservations are recommended, and I might just cross this out because we can't actually book the VIP seats at all in Euronet anyway. However, when traveling through from Zweisimmen to Montreux, as I mentioned before, the reservation is compulsory. Okay, so something to note in the images that I would have shown earlier for the Golden Pass, between Zweisimmen to Montreux, there are actually 2 different types of train vehicles that operate that route. These are named either the Golden Pass, let me just go back to the timetable. So these are differentiated on the timetable as well. So they offer the Golden Pass, let me just zoom in a little bit more. So they offer the Golden Pass Panoramic and then the Golden Pass Classic, or better known as the Golden Pass Belle Epoque. And there is a reason why these services are differentiated, even though they operate on the same route. So For the Golden Pass Classic or / Golden Pass Belle Epoque, it runs every day, all year long, offers first and second class coaches available, and then it also has seat reservations. Actually, I may just correct this. It does actually, so seat reservations on the Golden Pass Belle Epoque are recommended, but they're not mandatory. I still would recommend booking seat reservations for the service because it is a bit more of an iconic journey, and you'll still see why in the following slides as well. So for the Golden Pass Classic, aka Belle Epoque, there are 2 different trains per day in either direction. So the way that the Golden Pass Panoramic versus the Golden Pass Classic differ definitely falls in the composition of the carriages. So you can see it's a lot more of a classic, iconic, antique Art Deco style type of carriage as well. So just some images of that too. So, and you can see where in the timetable the train that's being operated is going to either be the panoramic service or whether or not it's going to be the Belle Epoque service. So just looking in here as well, so it's been color-coded within the timetabling system. So when looking at the timetables, anything that's viewed here in the golden color right here, this would pretty much be your Golden Pass panoramic train carriage, where you would have your panoramic, modern windows, modern services and amenities on board. Whereas when traveling on the Belle Epoque services, these would be color coordinated as the blue train, the blue services as well here. Okay, so again, like I said, the Golden Pass Classic carriages, they only operate 2 per day, so they can. So I would highly recommend booking a seat reservation for those services nonetheless. So now looking at the Goddard Panorama Express. So the Goddard Panorama Express combines both train and boat travel from Lucerne through to Fluellen, and then from Fluellen, oh, let me just bring my cursor back, from Fluellen through to Lugano or Locarno. So boat component, and then in the solid line there, train component as well. So just some images of what's available. So Goddard Panorama Express consists of travel from Lucerne to Fluellen by steamboat, and then guests can also enjoy, you know, an iconic journey throughout the more scenic part of Switzerland through Lake Lucerne, and then from Goddard to Bellinzona, Lugano or Locarno, or vice versa as well. So the total journey time of the Goddard Panorama Express would be approximately 5 hours, which combines both the boat and the train travel as well. So traveling on board the train component of the journey, there are 2 different classes of service available, both first class and second class as well. So some communal seating to enjoy, you know, the amazing scenery that they're going to be traveling in as well. And that would be the Goddard Panorama Express. Now, another exciting journey that I can highly recommend for your customers as well would be to travel on to the Jungfraujoch. So this particular journey is not so much a commuter train that will take guests from point A to B, but is actually more so considered as an excursion to the highest point in Europe as well. So if you have passengers planning to stay in Interlaken, this would be one of the highlights of their stay during that during their time there as well. So in terms of duration from Interlaken, to travel up to the Jungfraujoch, the entire journey from Interlaken through to through to the Jungfraujoch does take up to about 2 hours each way. So if you do have a Swiss travel pass, however, guests can get a discount locally, so that is also included as part of the bonuses of their Swiss travel pass as well. So the Jungfraujoch also offers the highest railway station in the world near Interlaken, and it is a highlight of every visit to Switzerland to go to this mountain excursion, with some of the most fantastic views over eternal snow and the longest glacier of Europe as well. So it has the highest altitude railway station in Europe at 3,454 meters, and even offers a Sphinx observation hall with impressive views over the Aletsch Glacier as well. But furthermore, once actually getting to the top of Europe, it's not so much just a viewing platform that guests would be traveling through to, you know, in that on their excursion. They also do have, you know, a museum and an information centre for people to interact with the different exhibits and the history of the railway that had been created to become the Jungfrau Joch itself as well. So they have a Alpine Sensation attraction and even an ice palace available at the Jungfrau Joch, and even a choice of restaurants at the top of the mountain as well, with different cuisines ranging from Indian food to Chinese food or even local Swiss cuisine as well. The nice thing about the Jungfrau Joch is that it's open 365 days a year, you know, so passengers can travel there and enjoy the scenery at any time of the year as well. And as I said before, the duration is about 2 hours from Interlaken Ost as well. So another cool train that we can book for your customers would be the day service, which is the chocolate train. So basically what the chocolate train consists of is an excursion from Montreux. So any guests planning to stay in Montreux, this is a great add-on to include on their itinerary as well. So it includes visits to Gruyere, which is where they would get to visit, you know, a classic cheese factory as well, and then finally enjoying a chocolate factory visit in the village of Brock as well. So the chocolate train only offers first class travel, and it does have a mandatory reservation. However, included in their mandatory reservation, that guests can enjoy coffee and croissants served on board the train, visit to a cheese, dairy and historic Gruyere castle, and also a visit to the Nestlé Caillé chocolate factory as part of the itinerary as well. So the entire journey itself is approximately 9 hours to do the round trip from Montreux to Gruyere and to Brock as well. But this also includes all of the excursions as part of the journey too. So to add on to sorry, I'm just losing my words here. So to add on to your customers, you know, the Swiss travel experience, you can also add in a couple of different mountain excursions as part of the itinerary as well. Sorry, I'm just going to pop a couple of people on mute if you don't mind. Okay, so additional mountain excursions, which I won't cover all too much on as well, would be Mount Pilatus, which offers the steepest cogwheel railway in the world, is accessible if you have passengers planning to stay near Lucerne. Furthermore, there's also the Stanzerhorn Cabrier as well, but it also offers, you know, one of the most amazing views from a new gondola or cable car going up Mount Stanzerhorn, and is only about 30 minutes from Lucerne. So when traveling through to Mount Stanzerhorn, so the cable car viewing also offers a rooftop view so that your customers can enjoy and be exposed to the scenery firsthand as well. So just some more imagery, and now this would be the Schilthorn Railway, which offers a gondola service as well, and also the Rigi Railway too. So in addition to all of these various mountain excursions, I would highly recommend, you know, reviewing further information if you have any passengers who are interested in these services directly via Extranet as well. So you would be able to find this in European Travel, Other Products, and then STS Swiss Peaks. So from there you can find more information about Stanzerhorn, even the Jungfrau Joch, and even a guide to Swiss mountain peaks, because there are a lot as well. And each of these guides within the Swiss Peaks section of the Extranet page even shows a guide on how to book these in Euronet. So I would highly recommend reviewing this information so that you can, you know, be prepared in selling this to your customers and even potentially booking it in Euronet as well. So just looking at the Swiss Travel Pass, just going back to the initial conversation we were having at the beginning of the session, Swiss Travel Passes offer the highest form of bonuses available in conjunction with the pass itself. So whether or not you are booking a Swiss Pass, a Swiss Card, or a Eurail Pass, you can see how much more the Swiss Pass offers in terms of discounts and things like that for your customers. So just using, let me just find an example of, I think it might be best to refer to the, let me just go back, oops, I'm sorry. So for example, if you have passengers who are planning to travel through to the Jungfrau Joch, Swiss Travel Pass holders can enjoy a 25% discount to the ticket. Swiss card holders can offer a 50% discount to the ticket, and then URL pass holders actually don't have any Swiss Half-Fare card, I should say. URL pass holders may not actually have a discount available for this specific product as well. So you can see how much more coverage the Swiss Pass has. So just to clarify, the Swiss card actually means the Swiss Half-Fare card that I was referring to at the beginning of the session as well. So Swiss Travel Pass, and then the bonuses and inclusions are just continued on in this slide as well. So additional services that the Swiss travel system also do have would be baggage services, whether or not it's express flight luggage or express flight door-to-door luggage services. So basically how these baggage services work is that, the Flyrail baggage service works from all airports worldwide with all airlines as well. So basically what would happen is that, with the care of, actually let me just go through. So basically what would happen is that a green tag, for example, would be attached by the customer to the luggage, which is recognized at the various airports of, for example, Geneva and Zurich, and goes directly onto the train, onto the final railway destination of the customers. So from there, basically what your customers would enjoy is a hands-free luggage service where they don't actually need to bring their luggage with them on board the train services at all. Okay? So group travel as well is available for for these luggage services. So this is valid for groups from up to 10 persons, and it's also valid only within Switzerland as well. So just to recap on some additional services available on Swiss Travel Services, most services on board, Swiss trains in general would have, a dining car and a minibar as well, even family zones and business zones for the range of types of travellers planning to travel within Switzerland too. And on some services, wireless internet and even a quiet zone area as well. So just some example images of some of the additional services that Swiss Travel also offers as well. So one last statement that I'll do to finish off the training session as well is that if you are planning to sell Switzerland to your customers, please do offer the Swiss Travel Pass, whether or not it's the Swiss Travel Pass Flex or the Swiss Travel Pass offered on a consecutive basis. The best thing about this product itself is that it is, a completely hassle-free product, flexible, and all-in-one ticket. Otherwise, you can also recommend for them to take up, depending on their itinerary, the Swiss Half-Fare card or the Swiss transfer ticket, depending on what their demands and needs are when traveling throughout Switzerland. Basically, what these products would pretty much offer is the most flexible and the best value for your customers whether or not they want to travel on board the train services, buses, or boats as well. So I'm just going to finish off the session. I would certainly recommend for everyone to be referring to Extranet and checking out some of the let me just jump back in there. In the other products page, you can look at some of the extra services on Swiss luggage, Swiss packages, and also Swiss Peaks and other scenic trains available on Extranet, because there's a wealth of information available on there in terms of how to book, what products are available, and other general information about these services as well. So I will end the recording there. So thank you to everyone for joining. We will see you again next week. I will stay back, maybe perhaps for about 5 minutes, just in case anyone has any questions as well. Thank you very much.